from the UK Overseas Territories Conservation Forum. I'm based in Nottingham, but our charity is a global charity. We work in the British Overseas Territories.
Okay.
You've probably heard of some of them, Cayman Islands, Montserrat, the Falkland Islands, and we run conservation projects in all of these islands, and we link them up together as well so that they can share experiences and share what works well and best practice and things like that. So yeah, we've come here today to raise a bit of money for the charity, and we've raised over £400 today, which is really great. And I guess it's why is this important to people in Britain? Well, the Overseas Territories have 90% of our wildlife. The Overseas Territories are part of the UK, and their citizens are British citizens, so it's kind of about, you know, highlighting this and ensuring that the wildlife in the world is conserved. So
okay, so I was told to mention falcon. This ties like with the Eve event. So do you want to speak about the falcon?
Well, I mean, falcons are part of the conservation effort, but Eve as a community has for many years had an issue with the falcon itself. You know, because of falcon is, you know, the little charity raffle we've run today, because every single Eve player out there has a Because of Falcon story. It's a particular ship that was quite overpowered and would, you know, give a lot of people a lot of grief. So it kind of tied in that way, you know. And as a community, it's great to get involved in, you know, anything charitable, because, you know, a lot of people don't always have, you know, a lot of information with regards to certain things like that. So it's great to get involved and feel like you're actually doing something a little bit.
Because Eve is like a community, isn't it? And obviously charity is like helping others, helping communities. So it's like a great time, I think. Talking about the charity, have you done other events like this before, or is Eve one of the first?
No, and I think that's why it's been really, really good today, because obviously Eve is a global community, and bringing people from, there's been people here from America today, people from Sweden, people from Poland, and that, you know, that's really in essence what our charity is about. It's about saying, look, we care about what's happening outside of Nottingham, outside of Europe. You know, there may not be that close in distance, but, you know, we think about their conservation and their wildlife, and that's why we're here. Really,
the global impact you know, of conservation and things like that. Again, it's not just you know, animals, and, you know, conservation efforts don't really recognise borders, because what affects one part of the world will eventually affect the other. And it's kind of the same within Eve, because something that happens in one part of the Eve universe kind of impacts on the you know, another part within the community itself. So there's, you know, that kind of tie-in also. You can, there's always an impact, no matter how small. It does resonate through the rest of the universe or the planet.
Yeah, exactly. And I think in real terms, like the human activities, such as, you know, we all know about climate change.
Yes.
I mean, just a 1 metre sea level rise will have a massive impact in the Overseas Territories, because a lot of them are low-lying islands, and a lot of them have nesting sea turtles. And, you know, with a sea level rise, you know, it's just going to have a devastating impact on the Overseas Territories. So it's something we all need to be aware of, because we all have a hand in climate change and the way we live our lives. So
and people have, as you said, people have travelled far and wide to come here. I think it's a great way of spreading this charity and getting more people aware of it and bringing everyone together. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, I really agree. I mean, I think that's the really interesting point of view for me, because I sit in an office in Nottingham, but the things that I'm doing are having, you know, a global reach, and I think that's the same can be said for Eve. You know, people sitting at home in their bedrooms or wherever playing Eve, you know, having a global connection and a global impact. So that's quite interesting.
Talking about Eve, have you played this game for a long time?
I've been playing Eve since 2006. I'm one of the old guard. I've seen a lot of changes in the game. I've made a lot of changes in you know, in my life as much. I don't play so much anymore, because I'm actually involved in direct marine conservation now. But it's definitely, I mean, the community and the people involved, you've seen over the years, we've had, you know, a few high profile players leave the game, you know, through mortality and things like that, and the community's kind of tied together quite nicely, because it is such an impact. It's one universe where, like I say, every single action from a player ties into someone else, and it does affect people in that way. And it's the same with, you know, the conservation of our planet does affect everybody.
Yeah. As you said, you sit in an office. Do you think these events really help the charity and spread the word a little bit more?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's, you know, anything that we can do to raise awareness of the UK overseas territories, and because not many people, you know about them. I was talking to someone today who's training to be a pilot. You know, there's really interesting people here, and you know, I was just asking them if they knew a bit about the territories, and you know, it varies, but you know, that's one of the really interesting things about being here and talking to people, is how much they know and how much they want to know, how much they're interested in sort of global issues.
And have you visited some of these places?
I have, actually. I've been really, really lucky. I've been to the Cayman Islands for a conference in 2009, which I took my daughter to. I was trying to introduce her to some conservation issues and things like that. I went to Turks and Caicos last October. I was really lucky to visit a project that we'd been working on about rainwater harvesting, and how its traditional uses, you know, date back to the early settlers on the Turks and Caicos Islands, and now they're using diesel-powered engines to desaline water, and you know, they're not actually, you know, using the natural resources that they have, because it's a dry climate. And I went to Gibraltar in August, which is a really interesting place, and it's gained a lot of popularity, I think, from some of the programs that have been on in the UK recently, and you know, it's a really great place. Like, great people. You know, how they switch from Spanish to English is just amazes me. It's a really cool place. So
great.
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you both for coming down, and obviously from charity, and you also work for a charity that play Eve as well. And it's great how everything ties in together, as we all said, the community and just spreading the word about this charity. No, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.